S. Chand presents educational video lectures as per the AICTE curriculum. Difficult concepts made easy. Study anywhere, anytime.
In the subject of programming for problem solving, in the lecture 2, we will focus on the type of programming languages, how this programming languages works, and if we want to write the program, what are the basic steps, initial steps of writing the program like algorithm, flowcharts and pseudocode. So in the part 1, we will cover these two topics, and in the part 2, we will cover the basics of C programming fundamentals, how to write the program in C, and we will try to execute a very small program, initial program of C programming. So let's begin the lecture. Hi, I'm Dr. Shriyash Atri. Welcome to S. Chand Academy. Before we go ahead, these are some good engineering books from S. Chand Publishing. So what is program first? Program is a set of instructions, those instructions which we have to write in some programming languages. Okay, so these instructions are given to the hardware device, and our hardware device performs those instructions, and the output we see on the monitors. So the set of instruction is called a program, and in this whole series of this subject, we will understand how to write the instructions. So the set of instruction is called a program, and this program is a driving force behind each computer, and without the program there is no computer. That's why it is written in a red that and computer becomes collection of useless hardware because without program there is no computer. So the second purpose of learning the instruction is tell the computer what to do, what type of instructions, the instructions we want to give to computer, the computer has to perform those instructions. So tell the computer what to do. The second is tell other people what we want the computer to do. This is for the general users. When you play the game, so the game give us the idea, now press this, press the. Initially we have to learn how to play the game. So in that case, another we have to write the instructions in that manner that it is tell other people what we want computer to do. So initially computer instruct us how to play the game. So these are the basic fundamental of program and instructions. Types of programming languages. Since 1940s, the computer is working on the programming languages, low level and high level programming languages. Low level is first generation, second generation programming language, and the high level is third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation. So right now in this whole subject we will learn this third generation of programming language, and based on this third generation you will learn the fourth generation as well as the fifth generation. So this third generation we can say is the basic of programming languages, the base of programming languages. So first understand what is this first generation and second generation, or we can say low level programming language. Generations of language: 1G, 2G is first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation. First and second generation programming languages come under the low level programming languages. Now what is this low level programming languages? Low level programming languages are those languages which are directly involved with the hardware. So hardware only understands the machine level language. What is the machine level language? The language which is in binary digits. Our hardware or CPU only controls these binary digits, that is 1 and 0. A normal human being can't write everything in 1 and 0. So for that we need certain translators. We need certain translators who convert our instructions into the 1 and 0 so that our hardware this can work on this. And that programming language is called machine level language. Second is assembly language. This is called the second generation programming language. This programming language is a human readable notation in which a human can easily understand what is the meaning. We write some mnemonics, or we can say these mnemonics is just like keywords. These keywords are understandable by the human beings, so that human can understand what is the meaning of this instruction. Okay, so like this, add 1 2. Now we can easily understand that we have to add 1 and 2. Okay, this is called the assembly language. So these type of assembly languages are incorporated into the embedded systems. Now what are the embedded systems? The embedded systems are those mini computers, just like in a small microchip is there in which we write some instructions, our air conditioners, our smart TV. Okay, all these are having a very small chip inside that, and those small chips are called embedded system. So the instructions which performs on the embedded system are written in the assembly languages, and the purpose of this assembly languages human can easily understand. And when the instructions written in this assembly language executes, this instruction translated into the binary, or you can say machine level language, so that our hardware can perform the instructions. So who translates this assembly language into the machine level language? The translator, name of the translator is assembler. Assembler is another program. The purpose of that program is to translate the assembly language into the machine level language. Now, high level language consists of third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation languages. Third generation, this is the middle level language. This is designed for simplified computer programming. The examples of this type of programming language is C, C++, Pascal. Okay, these type of programming languages were involved in 1970s. First generation programming was involved in 1940s and early 1950s, and in mid of 1950s the second generation programming language comes, and in 1970s the middle level language or third generation programming language comes. Now the importance of this third generation programming language: these programming languages are used to develop the softwares as well as drivers. If we want to develop the operating system, if we want to develop the drivers, we have to use the third level programming language or third generation programming language, that is C or C++. The next is fourth generation programming language. Fourth generation programming language is based on the GUI development, graphic user interface. With the help of GUI development, graphic user interface development, we can write the instructions. So this type of fourth generation of programming language is used to develop the database management system. Okay, or the basic example is web development. If you are developing the websites or some techniques for the web development, that means you are working in fourth generation programming languages. The currently fifth generation programming languages. This programming language is used for the artificial intelligence. If you are working in the field of artificial intelligence, you are working in a fifth programming language. So the example of this, Prolog and Lisp. So Prolog and Lisp, these two programming languages are specifically used in the artificial intelligence. So these are the older language, but still these are very effective for AI, for artificial intelligence devices. So the latest example of artificial or fifth generation programming language is chatbot, which is ChatGPT. It is still it recently come in the market. It is it's my suggestion to you, use this ChatGPT, and how this ChatGPT works. Okay, you will, it's a fun for you to understand this ChatGPT. So this is the basic of programming languages: first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation. First generation computer programming is machine level programming language, where it is this programming language is directly connected with the hardware. Second generation is assembly language, in which we use some mnemonics, or in simplify, we use some keywords so that human can understand the meaning of those instructions. The assembler translates this instruction into the machine level language so that hardware can execute those instructions. In third generation programming language, that is which is totally C, C++, Pascal. As we say, Sanskrit is the mother of all natural languages. So in similar manner, we can say C is the mother of all natural languages for the computer system. C is a very important programming language from where we can our various operating systems, various drivers are developed using the C programming languages. Fourth generation programming languages, when you want to develop some databases, structured query languages, or when you want to develop the websites, web development, if you are involved in some web development. So that means you are in a fourth generation programming language. And fifth generation programming language is artificial intelligence programming. If you are developing some device which is based on AI, so that means you are using the programming language as Prolog list. There are other programming languages also, but these are the very basic programming language for the artificial intelligence. So these programming languages are used as a fifth generation programming languages. Now, if you are writing a code in a third generation programming language or fourth generation programming language or in fifth generation programming language, how your hardware communicates with your instruction, how the hardware knows. So for that, the next slide is coming to understand how the translation works. What is the basic behind the translation, which translates this generation or this third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation, or second generation of programming languages into the machine level programming language. Compiler. The working of a compiler is to compile the instructions and translate those instructions into the machine readable form. Okay. The third generation programming languages, fourth generation programming languages, fifth generation programming languages are those programming languages which are human readable. A human can easily understand, but computer cannot understand, or CPU cannot understand. So to make those human readable programming languages into the machine readable programming languages, we need some translator. So the most important is compiler here. The purpose of compiler is this source code is written in a human readable form. You can use any programming languages like Java, C, C++, Python, whatever you want. So that is your source code. But computer cannot understand this source code. So we need to translate this source code into the machine level language, that is 1 and 0. So we need the help of compiler. So the purpose of a compiler is it compiles every source code. It also checks how much error is there. Is there all instructions are written properly? Is there any error? Yes or no. If there is an error, then it will give you the error, and we have to remove those errors from the instructions, and after that we have to compile. And then after removing the instructions, the compiler compiles those instructions and translate it into the machine level language. So let's see this a very simple example. This is a human readable instruction, C is equal to A plus B. We can easily understand that there are two variables A and B, and the sum of these variables is saved in a variable C. And this is high level language, human readable. Now compiler translates this high level into the assembly level assembly language, that is add AB. This is also a easily understandable by the human, that add A and B. We are adding the variable A and B, and then the assembler translates this assembly language into the machine language, that is binary language, in language of 101010. So after this, hardware executes this language. So this is the basic structure of our programming languages, working of programming languages, and how the programming language translate from human readable into the machine readable form. I hope it is very much clear to you. So we have come at the end of part 1. So in this part, we have studied about the types of programming languages and how these programming languages translated into the machine level language. Now in part 2, we will study about the basics of C programming language. I recommend these engineering books from S. Chand Publishing. If you like this video, do like, subscribe and share and press the bell icon for future notification.
Video has been prepared for educational purposes only. No part of it may be reproduced or copied without the permission of the copyright holder.